Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee 3.6 liter and going to do a really quick video on how to drain and refill the cooling system on it. So go ahead and pop your hood. Then with your hood popped, here on the passenger side, locate your coolant reservoir. Let's go ahead and pull that cap off there. So next you want to go ahead and locate your radiator drain petcock, and let me zoom in here so you can see it down below there. It's that little red cap. What you want to do is loosen that. There's also a nipple on the bottom of that to where you can put a hose, that way you don't make a huge mess. And you can do this without removing the skid plate, but I think for the purpose of this video, just to give you guys a better look, I'm going to go ahead and remove the skid plate, and we'll hook up our hose and start draining. Alright, so down below here, show you real quick if you decide to remove the skid plate. In order to get this one off, we need to remove this little one here, and you're going to have 4 13mm bolts. So you got one right here, same thing on the other side, and then there'll be one back here, and then right here. So let me go ahead and pull those real quick. And then once you get that one removed, let's go ahead and start removing this one. So on the driver's side wheel well here, grab a 10mm, let's remove that one. And then you'll have 3 more 10mm going down. And then we got this little clip here we need to remove. And then same thing on this side, 10mm on the passenger. And then you should be able to just drop down the skid plate here. Just like that. So as you can see, that gives us better access to our radiator drain. Here's the little nipple, and you can take a piece of 1/4-inch hose and stick that on there. And then I'll go ahead and get a drain pan, and then we can loosen that up and it'll start draining out here. So as you can see, just got a clean drain pan here. So let's go ahead and start draining. So let's go ahead and loosen that. If you can't get it loose by hand, looks like you can stick a screwdriver in there, flathead. So I'm gonna come up above here, and let's go ahead and loosen that. All right, so as you can see, it's starting to flow pretty good there. So I'll go ahead and let this drain. So while that's draining, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this reservoir. I like to just clean this out, give it a good rinse, get it nice and clean inside there. And to do that, just pull off these hoses here. Same thing on the bottom one here. And then you got 2 10mm bolts there. Then you should be able to just lift this out of here. And I'll go ahead and get this cleaned out. All right, so I got the tank all cleaned here. Like I said, you guys don't have to do this. I just prefer to do it just to keep everything clean, because over the years you get a lot of sediment in these tanks. So let me go ahead and stick this back on, down around that bolt there. Grab our 10mm bolts, and we'll tighten these up. All right, so as you can see, it's pretty much done draining here. Let's take a look at my pan. Let me zoom in for you. You can see it's labeled in quarts. And if I just move this a little bit here, tilt it towards me, you can see that line is our 5-quart line. So I would say we're right at about 6 to 7 quarts is what came out of this. And pretty sure these hold right at 10 quarts dry. All right, so since it's done draining, let's go ahead and close this up here and pull our hose. And then I'll take my screwdriver and let's just make sure that's tight there. All right, so now we should be ready to start filling. I looked around for an engine drain block plug, did not see one. Checked online as well. Sounds like these just have a freeze plug. And then, like I said earlier, these hold about 10 quarts dry. We pulled out just about 7 quarts, so that leaves 3 quarts still in the engine. A lot of guys will use tap water or distilled water to flush the rest out. But if it ain't that dirty, I prefer just to drain and refill. That way you don't throw your water and coolant ratios off. And this is what I'll be using. It's the Mopar concentrate. And if you take a look here on the coolant reservoir, you want to make sure you use the right stuff. It's the OAT coolant. The 2013 and later models use the OAT, but if you got a 2012 and earlier, it's the HOAT. And if you turn this around, you can see right there it says OAT, Organic Additive Technology. If you have the H, it'll be Hybrid Organic Additive Technology. But like I said, I got this off Amazon. It's about 21 bucks for the concentrate. I'll put a link in the description for that. And then also got a gallon of distilled water, which I'll mix between these two 50-50. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So the way I like to do it is I got an empty old one here. But what's nice about it is it says 2 quarts. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab a funnel. I'll fill this up to 2 quarts of distilled water, and then I'll open this and I'll add this 2 more quarts of this. That way it gives us our perfect 50-50 ratio. So grab a funnel here. So you can see right there, right at the 2 quart line. So let's go ahead and open this up. And then there's no 4 quart line on there, so you can just take your other one here and we'll just go to 2 quarts there. So a little more here. So right about there, and then go ahead and add the rest of your distilled water to this one. That'll give us 2 gallons. So go ahead and grab your funnel and let's go ahead and start filling here. And then go ahead and give your upper radiator hose a few squeezes here. Try to get some of the air out of it. And then I went ahead and moved my camera. That way we can see our range here. So go ahead and grab your 2nd gallon there. And let's go ahead and fill that. So you can see about right there, we're at the max range. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze my upper radiator hose some more. Try to get these air pockets out of here. And you can see the level going down some because it's getting that air out. Go ahead and squeeze it some more. So I think we're good there. And then you can see, not sure, but according to this, right at about the 2 quart mark. So that's about 6 quarts. So pretty close to what we were. Like I said, I wasn't sure if it was right at 6 or 7 quarts is what we pulled out of there. So go ahead and pull your funnel here, and we can stick our cap back on. Let's go ahead and start it. So next we'll go ahead and start it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn on our heat here. Turn that on high. And then with the running, just check for any leaks. You can see our level already dropped some. Just check all these hoses we had off. Make sure nothing's leaking. And then down below, petcock there, that all looks good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let this run for a while. You can see our coolant temp there is still cold. I'm going to go ahead and let this reach normal operating temperature. Let that thermostat open up, and then we'll see if we need to add some more. Alright, so I went ahead and let this run for a little bit. Got it up to normal operating temperature. We got heat coming out of the vents, and then our upper radiator hose is hot, which means our thermostat opened up. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, and then I'll let it cool for a few hours here, and then we'll go ahead and check our level. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our skid plate on. Do this plastic on first. Get all your 10mm bolts in here. Then of course your ones on the end here. Then go ahead and do the metal skid plate. 13mm. And it looks like I can put a couple of these bolts in here and then slide it on. So let me try that. So stick a couple of these on. Let's see if we can slide this on here. That kind of holds that on there. And then stick your other ones here. Alright guys, so I went ahead and let that cool for a few hours here. I'll probably check it again in the morning, let it cool overnight. But for right now, you can see the level dropped a little bit. So let's go ahead and take it up to the max line there. Go ahead and fill that. And then if you take a look here, you can see we're right at the 1 quart line there. So that took a total of 7 quarts, just like we pulled out. So you guys will be safe just buying 1 gallon of the concentrate and then 1 gallon of distilled water, and you'll be able to do this whole drain and refill. Go ahead and put my cap back on. Like I said, I'll go ahead and check this in the morning. That way it has a lot more time to cool. And then if I need to add any more, I still have a quart left, so we'll be able to add if I need to. All right guys, so that's gonna do it for the video. Again, this was a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee 3.6 liter. Went ahead and drained the cooling system and refilled it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos. I got quite a few on this Jeep alone, so check those out once I get them uploaded. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.